Hello, Latin aficionados around the world. Sandra, Sherman here. Greetings from Austria. Today's Bossa Nova time, and I have the most famous Latin standard for you here today. It's, of course, Girl from Ipanema, or Garota De Ipanema. I arranged this wonderful A.C.Jobim tune as a beginner-friendly chord melody style arrangement. This means we play the melody along with the chords and the Bossa Nova groove, but I'll show you everything slowly and in detail. There is also a slow tempo version towards the end of this lesson. I made tabs and backing tracks for you to download from one of the links in the description box below the video. Tudo bem? Vamos para Ipanema para fazer música brasileira. I use the original key of F major. We have a song form that is AABA. The A sections are 8 bars long, while the B section is 16 bars long. I use fingers exclusively for Bossa Nova style. And one last thing, if you want to get more in depth about Bossa Nova comping, basic comping techniques and breaks, etc., please go over to my other video. I have a video out for Bossa Nova patterns and how to combine them. All right, let's get started. All right, here's the first phrase, and I'll play it for you so you can hear it first, and then I'll break it all down slow and easy. Here we go. 3, 4. We start with an F major 9 chord, and that is the same as an A minor 7 with an F in bass. So with our thumb, we cannot use anything else. It has to be the thumb. We play that F on the first fret of the E string. Then we fret an A minor, I think you know that. That's the second of the D string, the second of the G, the first of the B, and the pinky goes on the third of the E string. And now, initially we just play the bass and the upper 3 strings all at once. Make sure your thumb is in front of your fingers. Don't play it like this. Play it like that. And then we lift the pinky off and we play the upper 3 strings again and again. So it's 1, 2, 3. Then I put my pinky on the third of the B string. Nothing else changes. And I play the D, G, and B string now. Then I go back up again to that E string on the 3rd fret, and I'll play the upper 3 strings again. All right? One more time. 2, 3. it's for the next bar, and while this cluster is still ringing, I play the bass again with my thumb. Right, so into that ringing, that's and 1. Then I lift this pinky off again, play twice, and another time, so actually 3 times. And I put it on the B string again and play the lower 3 strings again, D, G, and B. So those are the first 2 bars. 3, 4. Right, now I go over to a G13 chord. That's a bar on the 3rd fret. And with my middle finger, I play the 4th of the G string. And my pinky plays the 5th of the B string. And again, I start with the bass plus the upper 3 strings, the G, B, and E strings, all together. Then I move down to the D, G, and B strings, so 1 down. Right, so all bass and upper 3 strings, and now just the lower 3 strings twice. Now I'll lift that pinky up and play those 3 strings again, D, G, and B strings. Right? I put it back up on the B string 5th fret again and play the upper 3 strings. So the first bar in G13. Then while this is ringing, like before in the F bar, I play the bass again into the ringing chord. And now I play the upper 3 strings again. All right. And now I play the lower 3 strings, D, G, and B strings. 3 times. Where are we? And the 4th is with my pinky lifted off, D, G, B string again. So here's that second bar. Second chord I was gonna say. Okay, and here's the entire phrase number 1 at slow tempo for you. 1, 2, 3, 4. And here is the second phrase. 3, 4. This is a 2-5-1 in the key of F. We start with G minor, go to C7 and F. We start on the G minor 7, that's the bar on the 3rd fret of E, D, G, and then the 6th of the B string. All right, E, D, G, and B string. Play that once all together. Then I'll lift my pinky off and I'll play those same 3 strings, no bass anymore. 3rd, 3rd, 3rd of D, G, B strings. One more time, 3 times. And then I put my pinky or ring finger on the 5th of the G string. And I play that with whatever finger's on there. And that's the middle finger. Then I go to the C7, and all I need to do is I slide my pinky down 2 frets and wrap the other fingers around, because it's good to have string contact. If you go away, if you lift your fingers off all the time, you always have to find the correct frets again. So here you have some kind of anchor going on. All right, C7, that's a regular C with the pinky. A third of A, second of D, the pinky and a third of G, and the first of C. No, that's a C, but the first of B. That's it, the first of B string. Also, we play the high E string because here's the melody, the open E string. We play the upper 3 strings plus the bass, the A bass, all together. Then I change my right hand over to the lower 3 strings, the D, G, and B strings. No more bass. That was 3 times the lower 3 strings. Oops, sorry. Then I played the G string alone. That's the 3rd fret. And here's the resolution, the F major chord. This time you don't need to fret it with the thumb. You can do that, but this time we don't have the upper E string in use, so we can fret it like a regular jazz chord. First of E, second D and G, and the first of the B string, no A string here. And I play up to the G string first, no B string. I play those 3, E, D, and G string. Then after that, kind of postponed is the melody, I play that B string. And play it a little louder because it is the melody. This is just the underlying chord. And here is the melody, so this needs to be a little louder. And now we fill up with our Bossa Nova pattern. That's the bass, then the middle 2 strings. Then I have a rest. And a rest in Latin, there's almost never a quiet rest, always a kind of a snappy rest. I put my fingers into the strings where I want them to be next. And this is kind of snappy, okay? You can practice that. All right. Then I have a little muted E string. You can mute it either with your right hand palm, or you just lift your left index up a bit. You just touch that string. And then the last chord is a substitute for that C7 chord. And that's an interesting chord used in Latin a lot. That's a G7 flat 5 chord, a tritone substitute. All right, and we play the second of the E string. Don't have to use your thumb now. I just do because I like it that way. Then the second of the D string, the third of the G string, and the first of the B string. I play that really short, which means I release the pressure of my left hand's finger, right? And then I play it a second time, and that's a little longer. Ba-ba. That's the ending. All right, here's that entire phrase number 2 for you at slow tempo. 1, 2, 3, 4. The A2 section is identical to the A1 section without a slightly different ending. So we have a first house and a second one, and we are now in the second one. So where is the split? Where do we go another route? After the C7. We go to F like we did in the first house, but we have 2 bars of F now and a regular Bossa Nova comping without that of the first house. All right, so after we go to F major 7 again, first of E, second of D and G, and the first of the B string. And we only play up to the G string, E, D, G again, like in the first house. This is still the same. Then the melody on the B string, bass, 2 middle strings, D and G strings, the rest. And now we play the middle strings again to continue our pattern in F. Then the bass and the middle strings again. Let's play until here. Then another rest. Middle 2 strings again. Bass again, this time longer, and middle 2 strings again. This is how this phrase sounds. Phrase number 3 at slow tempo. 3, 3, 4. And that's actually our basic bossa nova comping. Welcome to the B section. These are the first 4 bars of the B section, and here we go. 3, 4. We start with an F sharp major 7 chord or a G flat major 7 chord. Everything is moved from the F we have been before up here. But we fret a little differently now. Here's a G flat major chord, but we need the bass for our comping, bossa nova comping. So what I do is I play the first of the E, second of B, and third of G, all together with the second of the E string, G flat major 7. And now I fill up again the G and B strings, then the bass, and the G and B strings again, and again. One more time. Then the bass. Now we're on bar number 2. It's 2 bars of G flat major 7. And while I lift everything up or off, I still fret my keep this one ringing and play the melody. That's the second of E, the first of E, the fourth of B, then the first of E, and the fourth of B. Right? While this is ringing, it's a little hard to fret the 4th fret. All right. And now it's for a B9 chord. That's inner 4 strings. 2, 1, 2, 2. 1, play all 4 together, then I have a rest again. I pause. 1, 2, snappy rest. Okay, so audible rest. And while I have that rest, I change over to a B7 chord. That's a regular cowboy chord. Bar on the second of the A, fourth of D, second of G is barred, and the fourth of the B. We don't play the E strings. So this is 1, 2, and now I fill up that chord for the next 1.5 bars. I play the middle 2 strings, the D and G string, Then I'll make a rest again. Try to not make hit the strings up until the B string, because here's the melody still ringing. Ba, ba, that's the melody. So I snap into here, but I don't touch the B string. That's a little tricky, I know. Then the middle two strings again, bass, middle two strings again, and rest up till here. Rest, then the middle two strings again, bass again, a little longer, and the middle two strings again. Okay, here it is at slow speed. 3, 4. And here's phrase number 5. We start with an F sharp minor 9 chord. That's the second of the E, and then the I bar over, second of G, B, and the fourth of E. So upper 3 strings plus the E string bass. Then I go to the lower 3 strings. That's the D, G, and B strings. Bass, lower 3 strings, and one more time. That's the first bar. And the bass again. That's the one of the second bar. And now we have a melody. Keep everything ringing. 5th of E, 4th of E. Then I play the upper 3 strings plus the bass again. Then the 4th of E into the ringing sound, and I lift it off and play the E string again on the 2nd fret. So what we get is that bass before, then all strings. All right, first 2 bars, 3, 4. And now it's a D9. That's the same chord and the same thing we had in the B, because this is sequence. Everything repeats itself but higher or lower. This time we're on the D9. That's the 5th of the A, 4, 5, 5, inner 4 strings. And I'm getting a blister here. All right, so D9 once, then my audible rest, I change to D7, 5, 7, 5, 7 by barring inner 4 strings. Then the middle 2 strings, the D and G string, rest, middle 2 strings, bass. Middle 2 strings, bass, middle 2 strings, longer bass, middle 2 strings. Same rhythm as for the B9, B7 thing. And here's phrase 6, we're still in the B part. 3, 4. All right, we move from F sharp before to the G minor 9 and play the same sequence we had before, 1 fret up. So that's 3, 3, 3, 5, upper 3 strings plus E bass. Once, then go to the lower 3 strings, D, G, and B strings. Bass, lower 3 strings, lower 3 strings. Bass again, and a melody. 6 of E, 5 of E. Lift your pinky off and play the upper 3 strings plus the E bass. 5th of E, 3rd of E. Okay, sorry. Two bars, 3, 4. And now to the E flat 9 chord. Same as we had just right before on the D. 1 up. 6, 5, 6, 6, inner 4 strings. Rest, and then the E flat 7. 6, 8, 6 by barring 8, inner 4 strings. Right. We take our rhythm filler Bossa Nova pattern and play it till one of the basses. This is 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and bass. Right? So the middle 2 strings, rest, middle 2 strings, bass, middle 2 strings, rest, middle 2 strings, bass. So there's a little bit missing of that Bossa Nova pattern, and that's because the next melody line starts early. It's a pickup phrase, so we can't finish it. We have to stop here. Okay, here's the entire phrase number 6 at slow tempo. 1, 2, 3, 4. And here are the last 4 bars of that B section. All right, we were at that E flat. All right, now I have my fingers, I keep it barred, but move to the 5th, put everything off, press the E string, 5th of E, and 6th of E. I could play it like this, but I need it barred anyway right in a second, so I keep it barred. And now it's for an A minor, just A minor 7 chord actually. And I'm on the 5th, E string, G, B, and the 8 of the E string. And now I have a melody into that ringing thing. I lift my pinky off though, because otherwise I couldn't move. I play the G string alone, then the 7th of the G, the B string, the 6th of the B, and the 8th of the B. And I would play that with my thumb. Well, you could use your fingers too, but don't play like the classic players play. So no, we're not resting on the previous strings because they are supposed to keep ringing. Right? Now it's for that 5 chord, and that's a D7 flat 9 sharp 11 chord. That's the typical chord in that song. We have it 2 frets lower in the next bar too. And that's the 5 of the A, the 4th by barring, the 5th of the G, and the 4th and 4th by barring. D7 flat 9 sharp 11 or flat 5. Then I go to the middle 2 strings, D and G string, the bass, that's the A string, and then I add my pinky to the 5th of the A E string, that's an A. 1, 2, and 3, 4. That's melody, so play it a little louder. Then you slide or glide your pinky up to the 6th fret and bar over the 3rd with your index. 3, then G, 3, B, 3, and 6 of the E. And we have almost the same melody here, 2 frets below. G, 5th of G, B string, 7th of B string now, 5th, sorry, and 6th. So, where are we? G, 5, B, 5, 6. And here is that chord again, but on the C. third of A, second is barred, third of G, and second of B and E are barred. So no E string, please. This is the root here, it's the C. Same chord as we had on the D. I play it all through, all the way through. Then the middle two strings, the bass again, and this time no melody, so just the middle two strings again as a filler. 1, 2, and 3, 4. So here's the entire phrase number 7 for you at slow tempo. 1, 2, 3. And here's the last A section. Hallelujah, we made it. So the first 4 bars are identical to sections A1 or A2 respectively. And the last 4 bars are different, and this is where this phrase comes in. But let's recap the first 4 bars. That was... and now it splits into A3, and we have a G minor 9. That's the third of the E string, third of D, G, B, and the fifth of the E string. We play the upper 3 strings only, G, B, E, plus the E bass. Then our pinky moves to the 6th of the B string, and we play the lower 3 strings. So that's 3 of D, 3 of G, and 6 of B. We play this thrice, 3 times. And then you lift your pinky up, and we have 3, 3, 3 once. So 1 and 3 and 4. It's all off beats. And 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Then we go up to a high C. Melody goes up now. That's a difference. We have a C13 here, and it's barred 8th fret of the E string, 9th of the G, 10th of the B, and the 8th of the E by barring. Play those, have a little rest, and while you have your rest, move down to the C7. That's the 3rd of A, 5th, 3rd, 5th, inner 4 strings. Play this 3 times. And the last time, the 4th time, I lift my index up, press hard against that B string, so that 3rd fret comes out. Right? And the last thing, last 2 chords, is an F major and the G flat 7. So F major, 1st of E, 2nd of D, 2nd of G, 1st of B, and the melody needs the open E string. So we start playing with the upper 3 strings plus the bass. Make sure not to mute the high E string. So don't go like... Okay. Then the lower 3 strings, D, G, and B strings, bass, lower 3 strings, rest. All right. Then we have that little muted thing again by lifting the left hand finger up a bit. Oh, sorry. It's okay if it's just a little percussive something. And then we go over to our last chord. We had this before. F sharp 7 flat 5, or G flat 7 flat 5. Second of E, second of D, third of G, and first of B. First one is short, so you release the pressure on the strings. Second one is long. So here's phrase number 8, the last 4 bars of the B section at slow tempo. 1, 2, 3, 4. Tudo bem? All that's left for me now is say thank you for stopping by. Thanks for having me. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to hit that little bell notification so you get notified whenever I have a new video out. I see you next week. Ciao, ciao, servus, bye bye.